Alright, here is a update video. This is gonna be like a two-parter, but it's all gonna be one together. It's been a while since I've been able to work on it because of things that come up. We had a garage sale and stuff, so we had all this filled with garage sale stuff. Well, anyways, I want to do a video here before I start really getting into it, and I'll start with the back here. I believe you didn't see this big old hole here last time. I had to cut this down a lot further than I would have liked. Lot further, but you know, it's got to be done right. So it's gonna need. I just got all the new steel here today. So it'll be new cross members out of 2x3/4 inch tubing. Yeah, 2x3. Yep. Then diamond plate would go on top of that, 1/4 inch diamond plate. So it's gonna be heavy. And then new sheet metal for where I had it cut out, so it'll join down there, and 1/8 inch thick plate for remaking them wheel wells. Yeah, and the first thing I got to do, well, actually another thing too. This was a bear to get apart. Oh, that was like a 2-day process, and it pooped stuff everywhere. And a little bit of bad news on my part. The frame, as you can see, is heavily rotted. It's rusted out in several areas, and it'd just be a bear to patch. Luckily though, at the salvage yard, he's got another one of these trucks where it's just been a bare frame for decades. Same identical frame. So after this wrecker unit's done and the cab is done, and I pull them off, I'm gonna cut this in half, cut the other one in half, and splice two good halves together. So that's a little bit further. That's gonna be another month or so down the road. Kind of a weird construction. You got the outer galvanized steel, then you got this inner regular steel, then you got these weird, not quite, it's more than C-channel, but it's not quite full tubing. It's got that gap. I don't know why it's stupid design. Then you got this for these braces, and you got this inner sheet metal. These braces I had to cut up because they were rusted out in the bottom. So most of these I got to bring down about yay far, and that one's got to go down to about there, and so on and whatnot. I got to repair them all basically. That's the first step I got to do before I can start really throwing this back together. The only thing I've done so far otherwise is I took a wire wheel, this guy right here, and on this inner steel panel, and then I had to get rid of the steel panel down there, so that's just that's the galvanized. As you can see, it's rusted through in a few spots. But got rid of all the scale, and I put that rust killer down. So hopefully, because I want to preserve that galvanized as long as possible. Let's see, anything else real quick. So this is more or less a quick before video, really. Although I'm gonna run into one. I already ran into one issue. I can't believe I did this. This here is more or less 3 by 1.5, close enough anyways. So when I ordered the steel, I don't know why I wrote it down wrong. I accidentally ordered 2 by 1.5. And this is gonna be a challenge to make work, but I want to get done this weekend right now, and I don't want to wait till Monday to start it because I got packages to do Monday and so on and whatnot. Anyways, so I'm gonna try and make it work, tack that up there, and that means it'd still leave about a 1/2 inch gap on the sides. And I got this 1/2 inch rod. I'm just gonna cut little, be what, 1.5 inch chunks, and stick them in the sides, and and weld it to join it. It's corny and it's stupid, but I want to work on it this weekend, and you know, it's probably only going to add an extra hour worth of work. So yeah, it is what it is. So I guess that's pretty much about it. Like I say, here's the diamond plate. It is heavy. It is, ugh, but I want it to be heavy duty. So, and there's the I think that's mostly 14 gauge, along with some 1/8 inch sheet metal, although it's not really sheet metal at that point. I think 1/8 inch is considered plate at that point, but whatever. And my 1/4 inch 2x3 tubing. So yeah, the biggest thing, like I say, for starting to put this together would be repairing all them braces first. That's going to be the most time consuming part. Then all the braces are actually, I had them cut them to length, so literally all I gotta do is set them into place. I believe they should, at least the front ones should contact these, I believe. Yeah, they should. So tack weld them in place, and then after that it is fabricate them fender wheel wells, and then tack them into place, and then I could set the already pre-cut diamond plate down into place. There's two pieces because there's two different sections. You got the fat piece which goes up there, and the skinny piece which goes back here. So, and then I could tack weld the from the underside, tack weld the braces to the floor, and after that it's redo the sheet metal here, and that's really about it. Then the whole thing could come off, be flipped upside down, and I could finish welding the cross members into place. And then there's one more cross member underneath here that's got to be replaced yet, but I can't do it until it's upside down. And because the diamond plate only comes back to here, it'd be welded along the seam here. So anyways, this is kind of I'll leave this off as a stopping point, and I'll finish up this video with, well, at that point I'll be probably pretty much done with this top side. So hopefully within the next few days here, or at least by the end of within the week, I'll be finished up the rest of this video. So alright, see you in, well, the next transition. Actually, I lied. I'm going to do a quick in-between shot here, because the setup turned out really, really nice. A lot of tedious work, but give you up close what I got going on here. Well, first thing I had to do was I had to repair all these braces here, you know, starting with these front ones. There was, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 across there. I just used some impromptu flat stock, because these front ones weren't really rusted out. They were just cut up from the torch from having to cut out the old cross member that was there. So I just repaired them like that, and then I got this first cross member in, and so now I can cut out this sheet metal. I had to leave this so I can use this bottom edge as a reference to, you know, as to how high or low this has got to be. So now that that's in, I can cut that out along with the rest of it, and yeah. But turned out pretty good actually. And oh, I love my new welder. Just welds so nice. But I got this 14 gauge steel lower panel on both sides. Just literally stuck it up there and then welded in place. And then I just used the torch to cut out the arch there. But like I say, I got all the cross members in, or fixed them anyways. So yeah, next step is, like I say, just bend up the sheet metal, cut it out, bend it up and whatnot, and then the wheel wells too. And then yeah, then I can lay the floor down. So just thought I'd quick show you this. Then the rest will be when it's done. Okay, I lied just one more time. I'm gonna do another update here, quick mid-update before I had the floor in. So, and actually this turned out fantastic. I couldn't have asked for anything better. This turned out so nice. It welded, everything fit for the most part like it should. And a lot of welding. Oh, how many hours worth of welding. But it turned out fantastic. So I thought I'd just quick show this. Couple things though before I can put the floor in. One, since I have all these edges, lips from the wheel wells and the side metal there, sheet metal, it puts about an 1/8 inch gap
if I was to lay the diamond plate down, it's going to have an 1/8 inch gap probably, roughly. And, well, the point of having the floor is to sit on the cross members, and that stuff is so thick, you might get the middle of the bow down, but it's no. So what I'll probably end up doing, well, what I will end up doing is tomorrow I'll buy some strips of 1/8 inch steel and weld it to the top, just a couple plug welds to the top of the cross members here. And then one other thing is, while it's pretty close, there's a few areas I'm going to, on this chunk of diamond, I got 2 chunks of diamond plate, one for this section and one for this section. I just got to trim out just a little bit around the wheel well there, because the wheel well comes this way a little too much, which is fine, whatever, not a big deal. And this way is actually, this chunk here is actually pretty nice, but in this back area between the 2 wheel wells, it's going to be borderline. I think it's going to, it's going to start pinching just before it lays down flat. It's borderline, so I think I'll just take the grinder stone to the one edge for just a couple minutes, and then it should fit in there just fine. So overall, not too much work, other than I'll just have to, like I say, get some strips of 1/8 inch to lay down on top of the cross members, because like I say, I don't want to try to sit there and bow it down. I want the diamond plate sitting on the cross members. So anyways, so I thought I'd just quick show this. I mean, I think it turned out fantastic, so hopefully tomorrow. Oh, and one other thing is, before I put the floor on, I gotta detach the back of the wrecker unit from the frame yet, and that's going to require a lot of torching, so it's going to be easier to do above than trying to do it from underneath. So, but yeah, so if everything goes good tomorrow, I don't have too many packages to do, yeah, I think I might have a floor sitting in there. So yeah, till next time, or see you in a sec.
Well, this is going to be a bit of a different stopping point that I was going to end up doing. I actually got the floor in, but I was in a hurry and actually took the wrecker unit off the truck right away before I took a video. Also, not only that, the diamond plate's actually, while it's sitting in there, it's actually not welded down yet. But so I'll do a further, more in-depth review actually when it's all finished, for the most part, all said and done. Anyways, today I cut apart the back bumper, and oh my gosh, this, good thing I didn't try to do this at the same time. This thing literally would have fallen apart. So where do I start? Well, I started out with cutting out all the old cross members, which they're all long gone, and they're all rotten. Although I will just show it real quick. These end pieces, it's hard to describe where they go without showing. They're a little pitted, but they're decent, so that way I don't have to remake these ends and dovetail it or anything like that. I was able to reuse them, so that's the only bracing I'm going to be reusing as far as the original stuff goes. Everything else was rotten, had holes in it, so on whatnot. Well, anyways, then I had to cut the diamond plate out because that was shot, and this thing literally, especially this corner here, really started sagging down bad, so I had to put that back under there to hold it up right where it's got to be. Yeah, and actually, even this C-channel here, one rust hole there, and it's so thin in some areas, especially on this side, but I'm just going to leave it for the time being, because if I cut it out now, it's going to fall. There ain't going to be nothing holding it together no more, right? Right, and then you have nothing to go off of. Another thing is, it's actually going to end up being a good thing. Once I cut this diamond plate out, this piece here, big old chunk of iron, came down a bit, because literally the only thing holding on right now is these 2 straps, which are supposed to be for support for that homemade hitch, which I'm going to leave that ultimately for the time being. Someday down the road, if I want to change out this back bumper brace here with something a little bit stronger and fresh steel, then I'd go in and be able to install a modern hitch, with a removable receiver, mold that in. I'd have to probably throw an extra cross member in there too, which is fine, not a big deal. And then, but that's something I could do down the road, and it'd be easy to do. But I can't really do that now, because if I cut this out now, I'll have nothing to go off of. And it's just going to create misery for me.
So yeah. So let's see, anything else real quick. So the only thing I'm gonna do here real quick, well, sooner than later, I'm actually gonna cut, because this actually sits too high because of the way the old floor used to be, which I was gonna live with it, but since it already came down some, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this up here where these welds are, and then I could bring it back a little bit and set it right on the cross member. You see how, especially on this side, there's a considerable gap, whereas that side it's down a lot further. But get it sitting down right level with the floor, the diamond plate, which you can see right here. Get it sitting right on here. And then I could butt weld the diamond plate to this, and we'd be all happy. Then I can get the last cross member, which would then sit up against this. I gotta grind the rest of this crap away. And then I gotta add a little bit of metal here. That way the cross member has something to weld to on the side here, because there ain't these back corners, the way to design them is just terrible. And yeah. Anyways, so then, let's see. Then I think after that, after I get this cross member up, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the diamond plate in first. It'll be cut and bent to fit in here, like what was in here before. I think I'd put that in there because then there's vertical cross members here, right along the edge here, and one about, yay far. And yeah, and then they can not only be welded to the cross member that'd be back here, but also to the diamond plate back here, because on the old one, the way it was done before, it just sat up against it. It wasn't welded. Well, why not weld it? You know what I mean? More strength. So I'll do that. And then there's another cross member that goes from about here to the sides and bolts to the side. And then also connects to these, which, I'm going to have these remade. I had to cut them in half because they're all in the down position when it was parked, because he took the wheels off of it a long time ago. Well, they seized in there so damn bad that when we had to drag it out of there, you would have ripped this thing all apart if you would have tried to drag it out with them stuck in the ground. So we had to cut them. Well, the thing is, even without the pins out of it, it's just stuck in there. So I just have new ones made, and yeah, and they're crooked anyways now and so on and whatnot, because they still tweaked a bit when we drug that out of there. But anyways, so I thought this would be another part to the update. So then next time when the last part of the video, which the next time will be the last time, this will be done. All the cross members will be welded. The diamond plate will be welded. And the only other thing I'm going to do is, I got a piece of sheet metal for it, is get rid of this rusted piece of diamond plate, cut this out, and then blend in a new piece of sheet metal. So, and there might be a few other things I might end up doing later down the road. I'll probably have to shoot some self-tappers to suck the panel in a little bit there on both sides, and maybe here too where this is falling apart. Yeah. So, but overall, this looked great when I had it over there in the truck, and it still looks great. And yeah, good. Like I say, good thing I didn't try to tackle this when it was on the truck, because, well, it would have been a pain in the ass because of the frame being in the way. But yeah, because this thing's already falling apart as it is. And yeah, so anyways, so like here's the old frame. I mean, it is rough. The bottom of the cross member is completely gone. Yeah, just not good. But anyways, so I thought I'd quick show that off. And yeah, so like I say, next time will be when it's pretty much all done. So, all right. Finally done. Well, I shouldn't say done, but done with what I wanted to get done. How about that? There's still other things I gotta do to it later, but anyway, so this is more or less the finished product finally. After 2 rolls of wire and almost 2 tanks of gas. Finally done welding and finally done grinding. Well, no I'm not, but you know what I mean. So I guess I'll just go over the finished product here. I think I left off, I showed this. Well, now I welded the seams, and I also welded the cross members underneath, which that took a long time. But anyways, well, here's the bumper area. Turned out pretty darn nice. Actually turned out really, really nice. This was a kind of a pain. Well, after I cut this out, the only thing that was holding it up, well, I think I explained that in the last video, I think maybe, was just these. No, actually I don't think I did. But was just these, so I cut here and there. And then I was able to take this off, clean up all the old welds and grind rust and scale. And actually it was a good thing too, because inside this was about 10 pounds worth of dirt and rust that I dumped out. So that's nice. Well, anyways, then I was able to put it back down. I was able to set it flush with the floor, because this was up another, probably damn near 3/4 of an inch because of the way the old wood floor worked. So it's sitting on the cross members now. And yeah, then welded this all on. Had to cut it in half, put 2 halves together, but whatever. Cleaned up that hitch a little bit. There was metal and welds and shit welded onto it. And then I fixed these jack stands. Both of them. If you watched my first video when I had it drug out of the hole it was in, at one point the wheels were taken off, long time ago, and these were put down. Well, of course, it still sank into the ground, and the pipes that this was in, rusted solid, and I tried beating on it. There's nothing you could do, and they were shot anyways. In fact, there's one right there, and the other one's on the other side of the bike. But anyways, anyways, we had to cut them off right here to be able to drag it out. Otherwise, you would have twisted the bumper badly. So anyways, weld them back together, ground them down, and got some new pipe, weld them in, and yeah, they'll work great. So I guess underneath here, yeah, again, welded all the cross members. Doesn't look like much, but that was hours of welding. And a few other seams I welded underneath here. But yeah, I braced these up under here so they can't, twist on you. It's not just welded to the diamond plate. It's welded to these. I also added this cross member here. I don't know why they would have never put one there to begin with, because it adds so much more strength. And not only that, whoops, I was able to attach the hitch to that as well, because before they had these stupid metal bar stock straps going from there all the way like 3 foot back to the somewhere about there in the frame, and that was just dumb. That was just really, really dumb. So that shortened it up and strengthened it, I could get hit by I get hit by just about anything, and this thing ain't gonna go nowhere. Not that I plan on getting hit, but, strength. Yeah, so all new steel. There's nothing under here, really, that's original, except for them 2 end pieces there that I reused. Otherwise, she is all new. And a couple other things I did. Just had to fix these up. For whatever reason, they'd cut them running boards and folded them over. I don't know why. But I fixed that. They were curled over. And then last but not least, I finally got rid of... Man, that flash rush is coming on fast. So humid here. Just comes fast. But anyways, got rid of that big old rust hole and fixed that too. So it turned out really good. So overall, other than the monotonous of endless welding and endless grinding, this is, more or less the end result. Eventually there's other things I gotta do to it later. Most notably would be eventually remaking the toolbox going there, but also put one on that side, and also cutting holes in the floor for the stacks and mounting the boom and whatnot, and I leave these blank for now because I'm going to put custom taillights in there. I could put just about anything in there as long as the lenses don't stick out past the diamond plate. And so I'm going to get a little artsy-fartsy with that and put something cool in there. I don't want just generic round taillights. I want something cool. So then I got to put a few sheet metal screws in it yet to suck that galvanized. I'm not going to do anything about the rust holes up front. Can't see them. It ain't really anything structural, so they can stay. The other side too, gotta do something with that. I don't know there. But yeah, so overall, I am very, very pleased with this. It turned out, I mean, what I hoped it would. Just took more effort and more money than I would have liked. So next step would be to fix the cab, and then get the cab off, the rest of the cab, and get the cab off, and then do frame cutting and splice back together. So the next video probably won't be till after this is spliced back together. And I guess one more note before I hang her up here is when it comes time to bolting this down, before, again, stupid design, actually, there's another thing I gotta mention too. They just had, various bolts shooting through the frame, really long ones. And then there was just a piece of bar stock with 2 holes in it. And I was like, that just looks dorky as hell. I ain't gonna do that. Plus, finding bolts that long, specifically probably grade 8, is gonna be expensive if you can even find the darn things. So I was like, What I got going on here is once this is set on the frame, I'll get pieces of plate, 1/4-inch plate or so, tabs that will come down off of here, right up against the frame, mark where, drill hole, probably 5/8 holes first in them pieces of plate, put them up against the frame and then up against there, and lay down several welds, probably 3, to really strengthen it, and probably we want on this one, that one, and that one. I probably won't do the front one. Maybe I will. We'll see. I can always do it. And then this one here probably won't need it because it gets bolted on right there. So we'll see how artsy-fartsy I get with it. But regardless, it'll be super strong. And that's a lot cleaner look and a lot easier than sitting there trying to guess where you're going to drill holes in 1/4-inch diamond plate and then run long-ass bolts through it. Ain't happening. And then one last thing. This, what used to be a lot longer, was right here. Again, stupid design. It went through and it was bolted to this rusty cross member here, plus the last cross member underneath that big, whatever you want to call it, plate there. This guy right here. Anyways, so I was like, I ain't doing that again. That is dumb, but I wanted it. It's for put your tow hook or the end of your hook, on there. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. I mean, you could use it for that, and that's probably what it was used for, but the mast already has a hook there for that, but whatever. But you could also use it to pull on, too. I could pull on, yank stuff out. This will be the go-to. I'm not going to pull from there, obviously. I'd pull from this. So I wanted it on there, so I thought, well, you can go up a couple inches higher, and I'll just weld the crap out of it. And, yeah. So that's probably about it now. I think I covered everything that I've done. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but at the same time, it actually kind of is. It's actually a lot. So, the lighting in here sucks. There we go, a little bit better. Anyway, so that's probably about it. I'll leave off here, and until next time, it'll probably be a video in another month or so. So, see ya.